who follow the program. A lot of people follow the program, right? Let me update you on the ferry disaster, right? The ferry disaster. And again, it's not a crystal ball. People reach out to me yesterday again. They're reaching out to me and say that, Mr. Slow, some of the things that you have said are now being confirmed by the French divers, what they were talking about. The French divers, or somebody, the person in charge of the French divers, made a statement yesterday. It was on video. Somebody was giving a brief to update us on what has been happening there with the diving efforts. And he said that the place below there where this vessel is resting is basically in a treacherous position. He spoke about the darkness, pitch black dark below there. I remember I told you all that I spoke to an experienced diver, I think it was Tuesday of last week. And he was explaining to me, because he said if it's off the coast of Barbados and those places where the water blue, clear water, it is not difficult to dive, because you have good visibility. But he said that in Guyana, Atlantic coast, with all that mud and all this type of thing, he said visibility is going to be almost zero. And the French gentleman confirmed that yesterday. He said the visibility below there is almost zero. He said it's dangerous. It's life-threatening to the divers. Because, as we saw in previous video, you have obstacles, amoks tied all over the place. He said ropes and things all over. Makes it very difficult to them to go in there. So up to now, they are unable to get into the wreckage to recover the bodies, because it is assumed that bodies are there. Cabins, I understand people might have been locked and died in cabins and all of that. Crew members. So he explained that, and somebody messaged me yesterday to say, it's the same thing you spoke about in terms of visibility. So I don't come here and just talk because I get a mouth. He said so. He said, and then they talk about the efforts to right the vessel, to pull it up on his keel. And he said even that is extremely difficult. And I have another tape let me play this tapes again to give you a perspective. This is a few days ago. A tape is about a minute long. Listen to it.
Regional news now, where it has been nearly a week since a passenger ferry capsized off Guyana's Essequibo coast. Officials are calling it the worst marine tragedy on record for the South American nation, with dozens of bodies being recovered daily through a multi-agency effort. Around 180 people were aboard the MV Barima. 76 of them have been rescued, while 72 bodies have been found so far. That number is expected to rise. Among the families affected by the tragedy is a Cayman resident. Their family member was on the ferry that was traveling to Port Kaituma from Georgetown. Their body was found 2 days after the accident. Rescue teams from neighboring countries, including French divers, are now focusing the search area, and they're focusing on the search area and how to reposition the vessel to facilitate further recovery operations.
Yeah, so that basically is what is going on. They're trying to reposition the vessel so that they can try to enter the vessel to see how many bodies can be recovered. And talking about how many bodies, they're talking now, I see the government issuing a statement now. I think the figure that they're using now is 179. So initially, Edghill tell us it's 133, 116 passengers and 17 crew members. It was very definitive, very arrogantly definitive, right, about that. Then he himself came back later to say, well, because what happened is that when they rescued 76 persons, and then they discovered, when they looked at the manifest, that I think it was 32 persons were not listed on the manifest. So right away, they can't tell you, and I maintain, I've said it before, one of them tried to take me up on it, that if you did not know how many persons were on the vessel at the time it went down, how can you know how many persons are missing? How can you? But I don't know how they arrive at this 179. They start from 133. Now they have gone to That's the latest figure. I'm hearing about 179, right? People on board, we estimate you can't put much credit on that because that is not scientific. There's people say over 200 people would have been there and all of that. So you can't put a lot of credit on that. But clearly, the authorities do not know how many persons were on the ferry. They do not know, even with the weight, because I heard the man, Stephen, what's his name there, the married man, right, Stephen Thomas. When people confronted him, the media confronted him with the fact that the scale to weigh cargo onto this vessel wasn't operational. Then he talked about the water line, the load line. They got some line on the side of the boat, and you could tell based on the line how much loaded, whether it's overweight or not. That is what they're telling us. That is what they told us, right? So it would appear too that based on what the French said, this vessel, for it to be recovered, for it to be salvaged, is a Herculean task, not likely to be accomplished in the near future. That is what they told us. I ain't making these things up. Because if man talk about how treacherous the conditions there with all the mud and all them type of thing. So it is sad to say, but you have to say it, it might get to a stage where some of those bodies may never be recovered. Some of the bodies may never be recovered. Because remember, while the bodies are below there, the bodies keep deteriorating. You might have fish and all them things eating on the bodies and so on. The bodies keep deteriorating while the bodies are there. Especially if you have small bodies, children and so on. It might get to the stage, because it's a week already, a week passed already. A week passed. So let's continue to pray. Because now it's not a rescue operation. Let me understand this. It's nothing to do with rescue now. It is recovery. It is search and recovery. I think they too might have suspended the rescue part of it. So, in other words, they have given up on finding anyone alive. They have given up on that part. So it's now a recovery, a search and recovery, a searching. And the only place left to search now, as far as I'm aware, is the vessel itself. Is the vessel itself left to search. Because the pilot told us about all the obstacles, amok tie, ropes tie all over the place and so on, which makes it extremely difficult for the divers to go in there, because the divers, let me understand this, one can't expect in circumstances like this, divers to go in unsafe conditions and risk their lives. No one would ask them to go there and risk their lives. So they have to make sure that it is extremely safe before they do any maneuver. Extremely safe, right? So to move on, I noted since as of Saturday, the president has earmarked on what I call a campaign of deflection. President Irfan Ali has embarked on a campaign of deflection. So on Saturday, he told us that he's going to name a commission of inquiry on Sunday, yesterday. Yesterday, the president proceeded, I can't say keep his promise, president proceeded to name a 5-member commission of inquiry. Let me just pull up the thing here. President named these 5 persons as members of the commission of inquiry to inquire into the tragedy, which is now known as the Barima MV Barima tragedy. First person to the left there, to my left, your right, to the right of the picture, Justice Godfrey Phillips Smith of Belize. And they say below, if you can read it, he's a CARICOM high-level representative for law and criminal justice and an ad hoc justice of the Eastern Caribbean Court of Appeal. Then the next man they have there, Captain Amada Fuda, Senior Maritime Surveillance and Compliance Auditor, Maritime Authority of Jamaica. Then they have Miss Nairi Don Alfonso of Trinidad and Tobago, attorney at law with expertise in admiralty and maritime law. Then they have Dr. Andres, I hope I pronounced that right, Jaskowinski of Poland. They say he's a naval architect and marine engineer. Then the last person they have this Rear Admiral retired Hayden Pitchard of the Trinidad and Tobago, expert in maritime operations and security. Those are the 5 persons the president named yesterday to form this commission of inquiry. Now, let me say this. The first thing that jumped to my mind, I said, where to find these people from so quickly? Where to find these people from so quickly? Man from Poland, Jamaica, Trinidad, Belize. Where to find these people from? Well, they had them on speed dial or something like that. Where did they find them? Where did they find them? Right? So that's the first thing that came out. And then I said, well, we have got to check to see the CVs, the curriculum vitae. In other words, who these people are. We got to check them. But, not to be surprised, the VPAC and other people don't do their research already and check the background of some of these people. But before I go into that, let me say this. This government has no decency, right? The PPP government, led by Irfan Ali, has no decency. And that is why I'm saying that the president is in a campaign of deflection. So even before the bodies are recovered, you get a commission of inquiry? Oh, man. Oh. Shouldn't the priority, shouldn't the focus now be on making sure that the bodies that are suspected to be trapped in this vessel are recovered? Shouldn't that be the priority? But no, that is not the priority for the government. The government wants to make sure they come out and say commission of inquiry. And let me tell you again, the purpose or the reason for establishing the commission of inquiry or for naming, because the commission of inquiry is not established as yet. I don't think it is established until those persons are there and then they swear in and all that. Because if you follow the Commission of Inquiry Act, they have to be sworn in. I remember when I chaired the Commission of Inquiry to inquire into the plot to assassinate President Granger, I had to be sworn in by a magistrate. But I guess with this say now, when they come, the president himself going to want to swear them in and all that. I don't know. But let me see what's going to happen. Because the commission is not operational until it gets its terms of reference and they are sworn in. Right? They are sworn in. But I am saying to you that it is my belief, and I'm entitled to that the only reason the president named these 5 members yesterday, Sunday, the 26th of July, is to preempt the attempt by the opposition to have this matter debated in Parliament. Is today? Today. Parliament is supposed to meet today. They're meeting for money. They want more money. They had a $1 trillion budget a few months ago. $1 trillion budget. And I think today they're going back to Parliament for $50-something billion more. They're going back to Parliament for $50-something billion more. So over the weekend, we learned that the opposition parliamentarians wrote to the speaker because they want this matter, the MV Barima tragedy debated. They want to debate it, put together the terms of reference and all of that. They want that. So the president ran out yesterday, named the members of the Commission of Inquiry, right? And here what's going to happen. Look, y'all make a note. Make a note. I think Parliament will normally meet at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't know what time they're meeting today. So that when the members of the opposition raise this issue today, as they will do, as they have said they will do, about the debate on the MV Barima tragedy, the speaker, Manzoor Nadir, the minibus speaker, the boombox speaker, Manzoor Nadir, is going to say he's not going to entertain any such request. He's going to tell them that a commission of inquiry will be established. Mark my word. Mark my word. And going forward, whether they get press conference or they get any interaction and questions are asked about the MV Barima tragedy, the mantra will be, let's wait on the findings of the commission of inquiry. That is what it is. That is why the president jumped out yesterday. That is why the president, you see, I tell y'all, they are so flipping transparent, you could see through these things. You ain't got to get a crystal ball like me. You don't have to get a crystal ball, but once you follow the thing, you know the wicked, stink, and dirty. So they are going to decide, well, a commission of inquiry has been established, and therefore let's wait on the results or the recommendations of the commission of inquiry. That is what they will tell us. Mark my word. Mark my word. I think Parliament is supposed to meet today. When we come Wednesday, I want y'all tell me if what I anticipated, what I predicted was going to be in the past tense was true. Right? Let me understand this thing clearly. That is what the president has earmarked on. Then this morning, he ran out with, they said they're establishing a national body established to aid in healing after MV Barima tragedy. Financial aid for families of victims and survivors being examined. That's today the president came out this morning. At least it is reported this morning. President said, hey, what it said. I'll read it. Tell on. President Irfan Ali this morning announced the establishment of a national body to aid in the healing process following the MV Barima tragedy, which claims the life of more than 70 persons. The initiative, titled HEART, is a national initiative to coordinate, mobilize, and promote healing and support for survivors of families affected by the MV Barima tragedy. The president said the initiative will provide a safety net for support and compassion, noting that every family affected by the tragedy will receive support through the initiative. Quote, this initiative will be overseen by trusted religious and civil society persons from across Guyana, led by Mr. Carl Stewart. It will carry the prayers of every faith, the hopes of every heart, and the sacred traditions that bind us. End of quote, the president said. The Hope, Empathy, Aid, Reliance, and Trust Initiative, that is what the art is, will be overseen by religious and civil society leaders. Meanwhile, the president also announced that the victims, that the interim financial aid is being considered for the survivors and family of victims who perished in the tragedy. He made clear that such aid is not a compensation. Then he said Belizean lawyer and former Foreign Affairs Minister Eamon Courtney will work out the modalities for the financial assistance to the families. Quote, I wish to make it clear that this assistance does not constitute compensation for survivors and bereaved families. These measures embody a commitment that every survivor will be supported, every bereaved family will be treated with dignity. It is in that spirit that I ask every Guyanese, stand stronger as one people, end of quote, the president said. The president said the country will never abandon its own during difficult times, and will work hand in hand with families to ensure healing. The announcement by the president comes as search and rescue operations are continuing for scores of persons who are still missing following the sinking of the passenger vessel. I tell you, more destruction. More destruction. So he come now with this art thing that he talk about. They said civil society persons across Guyana, led by Mr. Carl Stewart. Well, I know Carl Stewart. I knew too. So I don't know if it's this one. Carl Stewart used to be a senior manager at BWIA, Caribbean Airlines. I know Carl very well. I don't know if it's the same person. He's a pastor, right? Very decent man. Let me say this. The Carl Stewart, if it's the same person he's referring to, very, very, very decent man. His father, Carl Stewart Sr., was a police officer. Some of my squad here remember, some policemen remember Carl Stewart used to be in traffic, 6703. Carl Stewart. I don't know if it's the same person, right? But I know Carl Stewart, and as I said, the Carl Stewart that I know used to be with Caribbean Airlines. I don't know if he's still there with them any longer. I know he's a pastor, he's a man of the cloth. I remember attending, I think it was Adriana Young's, they had a function in Brooklyn sometime back for Adriana Young, and I went there, and Carl was one of the persons who delivered some reading or something. He had a presentation. But the Carl Stewart, again, let me put in the caveat that I'm not sure it's the same person they're talking about. They say it's not one dog named Pompey, right? But this Carl Stewart, I know, is a very, very decent man. Very, very. As we say, police picnic, right? Police, his father was Carl. Man used to be very prominent in the police association and everything, 6703. Back in the day when UG was a strange thing, Carl was a man who went to the university and got his degree. Bright man, brilliant man, right? And then he had, I know there was a next son, the cricketer. What is his first name? Is cricketer Stewart, a man who gone in the record books in cricket history. I can tell you what the record is. Playing test cricket, he got in the record book. He also had a daughter who was with Caribbean Airlines Taiwo. So I don't know if it's the same Carl Stewart, but I can tell you that this Carl Stewart that I am referring to is a very, very decent and upright citizen of this land of Guyana. I know he lived abroad, so I don't know. Right? Colin Stewart, yes. Colin Stewart was the son cricketer. Colin played cricket for the West Indies. Fast bowler. Used to be there with the Guyana Cricket Board as the cricket development officer or something like that, right? So I am not sure if it's the same Carl Stewart. But again, I say, if it is that Carl Stewart is as decent as they come. I know that. He's as decent, at least when I knew him. We haven't met for a long while, but people will change. But I don't believe that this Carl can change, right? Because he come from good background. Right? All right, let me move on. So they have this thing set up. They say to not to compensate, as I say, a president said not to compensate. It doesn't constitute compensation. It constitutes just financial assistance and so on. Well, let me tell you something. They're talking about that. I saw some disturbing videos over the weekend. Family members complaining bitterly of the way the deceased persons were treated. Bitterly. One person complained that 3 family members were put in one rough box. They get plyboard, they knock up plyboard, put them in the box. 3 family members, maybe an adult and 2. That is what people complain about. They complain too that, as I've said, rough box, some plyboard, they knock up the plyboard, put them in there. In one case, we saw a excavator digging a hole. The coffin went in there, and they just excavator. No dignity. No dignity at all. Look how they're transporting these 2 coffins. Right? These are 2 coffins of 2 deceased persons. They put them in back of one vehicle. One vehicle. That is dignity. Is that dignity? And again, people are saying because some of the same Amerindian or we say the indigenous people are complaining, they say it's only because it's indigenous people in the majority that they're treating them like that. People have gone so far to say on social media that if black people were the majority, they would not have treated them like that because they know there would have been an uproar. That is an opinion being expressed by some of our indigenous brothers on social media. But when not even a dignified burial, if you listen to some of the stories being told by some of the family members, no dignity in the final rites of these people, none. I mean, some people taken to the coastline, given burial. People complain that they built tombs to entomb 3 family members, right? Something was only one. The thing one recovered and they entombed the one. So then the other two tombs are empty because of some issue there with them and so on. People are complaining bitterly about the way how they are treating them with this burial. No dignity, no decency at all. None at all. None at all. So when they come and they're attacking us, other thing there and the talk. And now that the president has announced the commission of inquiry, and the president has announced this new initiative to support victims, the survivors and the relative of the victim. Mr. President, when are you going to tell us, give us the news that you want to hear the most at this stage? That's Edghill and Deodat get sent home. When are you going to tell us that? When are you going to tell us that the bishop and Deodat, the people who are responsible for the transport and harbors department, when are you going to tell us that they have tendered their resignation, or you have demanded their resignation, or they have been dismissed? When you're going to tell the Guyanese public that? Because everybody now, and I get like you, everybody, you may say everybody know about the farm. I am saying everybody now calling for them to go. I have seen videos of people who are for strong supporters of the PPP calling for Edghill to go. Let me read one from a post from a man who is said to be the product of a traumatized, expired sperm. A man who is said to be the product of a traumatized, expired sperm. Right? Hear what he says. Nigel Darmlal resigned as Minister of Local Government over allegations of rape. These allegations were found to be false, the result of a plot by a spurned lover. Lie. That part is lie. Nigel Darmlal allegations of rape against that 16-year-old indigenous girl were never found to be false. Never. You product of an expired, traumatized sperm. Never found to be false. Let me read on. Darmlal, however, resigned because he knew it was distracting from his job in service of the public. No rape, nobody dead or injured, but integrity intact. Darmlal, integrity intact. This is what this sycophant writing here. He goes on to say, there are times when you have to put the greater good ahead of yourself. Shelve the ego and do the hard thing for the higher purpose. There are lessons that are worth learning and repeating. One say Nigel Darmlal may well be back serving our nation at the top levels. For we all know his service was of the highest quality. His service to the little girl. The service when he served the little girl, because he said he break a whole pot spoon. So that is high service indeed. That is what he said. Or that is what the girl said he said. This would make a great sermon for a Sunday service. Thank you for your attention. That is what the thing said. So even them calling upon Edghill to go. But to make the comparison to Darmlal with all the falsehood stated, Darmlal, let me understand this thing clearly. Darmlal was never found to be, as I said, the allegations against Darmlal were never found to be false. Never. The DPP did not allow it to go there. The DPP did not allow it to go there because when the investigation was done and the file was sent to the Director of Public Prosecutions, Shalimar Aliak, Aliak sent it back to the police for clarification. Ask the Crime Chief Blanham. And then the police said that they were told, the DPP never came out with any statement as far as I know, but the police said that the DPP said that the girl indicated, a 16-year-old girl, say that it was in her best interest not to pursue the matter. And the matter ended there. And I say that if you were to look at the Sexual Offences Act, the fact that the allegation was made, the law is clear that you need not have corroboration. And the police got a statement from her. The police, I think, got a statement from her brother who was taken to the place there. while they put it for watch TV downstairs, the man went up, carried the girl upstairs and raped her. She gave a description of the place. And having given the description of the place where this rape took place, somebody in the police force communicated that to the suspect. And what they did, they rearranged the place. They're going to rearrange the place in an effort to discredit the victim. So when the victim was taken back there to that house somewhere in Campbellville or somewhere, then they saw, well, she wasn't accurate in terms of our description of this place, right? And they used that to say, well, she wasn't telling the truth. You think it's too nasty, the nasty? You think it's too nasty, the nasty? Then the next rape allegation that the woman made against him, which took place in Essequibo, right? When the file was sent to the police, statement sent to the police legal advisor, Bandel Moore, said that there isn't sufficient evidence to prosecute Darmland. And the law is clear. The Sexual Offences Act is clear that if a complaint under the Act is made to the police, I think they have, 60 or 90 days to institute charge. And if they do not institute a charge within that frame, the file must go to the DPP for the DPP to pronounce on it. In this case, they did not go to the DPP. The police legal advisor, Mandel Moore, pronounced that there is no, the evidence is unreliable. He has no such authority, absolutely no such authority. But I can remember and I can talk about these things. So for this product of the expired traumatized sperm to come and say that Darmlal was cleared, never cleared. The DPP decided not, well, if he cleared, the DPP cleared it. He wasn't cleared by any court. It never even reached the court. Never even reached that. Paint up the place. Yes, freshly painted place and all them type of thing for trying. And all that was done to discredit the victim. And the only way all of those things could have taken place is because the police would have told him how she described the place. So they went there, move around thing, move the bed from where it been, paint over the place. So if she said the place is red, they go and find a green room and all them type of thing. And they use that to impeach her character. That is how nasty, stink, and dirty they are. So when they come with this stupidness, but Nigel Darmla clear, yeah, he get back in big position, as they say. One say Nigel Darmla may well be back serving our nation at the top levels. For we all know his service was of the highest quality. What highest quality? Darmla's service of the highest quality? What quality are you talking about? Low quality? Man is an accused rapist. And apart from the two allegations that were made, they were the allegations of others. Right? Perverting the course of justice. The commander of Region 2, whatever he named, I don't ever remember in name. Right? The commander of Region 2 sat that girl down in an office for hours and tried to get a statement from her for her to recant the story. Hours. The commander himself took the statement. A couple line statement that and that he's so stupid, right? He's so stupid that he put the time when the statement started and the time it ended. Hours to take a couple line statement. Are you telling me there's not collusion? Them shouldn't be charged with perverting the course of justice. But no, now it is DPP. Now it is DPP. He did that. And then the girl, trying to get the girl to recant. And it's alleged that money's passed too. Money passed. For them to go back on the story. Money passed. All this perverting the course of justice. Right? So let me understand this thing properly. Let me understand. Let me go on to, I'm saying now the part that Dharamlal and Indar should go. They should go. Let me do I have any thing? Let me tell you something. In other jurisdictions, I was reading this morning, in other jurisdictions, several places, they had ferry disasters where 20 and 30 people died. And the minister responsible had to resign. The minister responsible had to resign. But I get Edghill and Indar sitting there. You have them sitting there, they should resign. And let me say, let me refer to the notes. as I've said earlier, the members, I'm going to come back to that another time when I do some more research about the members of this COI. We're going to talk about that because there are a lot of issues to be discussed in relation to that. And I'm going to bring it to your attention. I'm going to bring it. Yeah, share the live. I'm going to bring it to your attention. I said here, let me say this, because on Friday, I don't know if they had a press conference Saturday or Sunday, but on Friday they had a press conference. And Mark Phillips, Stephen Thomas, I noted Edghill was absent from that one. They bring ropes and shoot and scoot Ben. And I couldn't help observing the type of people, the ethnicity of the people that are put in the front in this strategy. Mark Phillips, Lion Mark Phillips. Now Lion Edghill. They have Stephen Thomas Samarad, who making some, what I would call asinine statements, right? Then you have now, they bring Robeson Ben, Mark Phillips introduced him as an advisor to the president, and he come there as an ornament, not a very good looking ornament, I must say. And that is what they're doing. Look at the people with the front end. And I got to compliment Leroy Smith, because Leroy Smith asked what is perhaps one of the more pertinent questions as it relates to the investigation. He asked the Prime Minister that what allegation was put to these persons that they said were arrested. The captain and the other persons. What? Because the law is clear that if a person is arrested, you got to tell them what they're arrested for. Well, let me find if I could find. You have to tell them what they are arrested for. You can't just say you're under arrest. Why were they arrested? Right? Did they tell them that? Let me see if I find this to give you all. I don't have it here, but I can bring it up to you all one day. Again, that you ought to have told them that this is what you are being arrested for. And up to now, as far as that, I think I find it. Listen to this.
Here is what the law says. You absolutely have the right to know why you are being arrested. Article 139 of the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana guarantees the right to personal liberty and requires that any person who is being arrested be informed as soon as reasonably practical of the reasons for their arrest. But what does this mean for you? It means that the police must inform you of the reason for your arrest promptly and in a language you understand. If you are not told why you're being arrested, this may form the basis of a legal challenge. You're entitled to retain and instruct a lawyer without delay. And if you're held without charge, you're entitled to apply to the High Court for a writ of habeas corpus. If your rights are violated, remain calm. Do not resist. As soon as possible, contact an attorney. Note the time, location, and names of the officers involved. Knowing this could protect you or someone you love against an unlawful arrest. Thank you.
Right. So having all that, what did the police, what did they tell them when they arrested? Because it's not in doubt. They said, Edghill, Mark Phillips, they said the captain and others were arrested. What were they arrested for? Because in the same breath, they told us that the captain and some other one was found, when they did the test, they found that they had consumed marijuana. Now, let me tell you this. I don't know that there's an offense called consumption of marijuana. I know they talk about possession. They talk about possession. So if you're found in possession of marijuana, yes, that is an offense depending on the quantity. They're going to determine whether it's trafficking or anything else. But if you are tested and they say they found marijuana in your bloodstream, is that an offense? I don't know of such an offense. So why were these men arrested? Why? And if it is a policy of the Transport and Harbors Department that, look, nobody should consume alcohol, they shouldn't consume marijuana and so on, for what period? Because as people have said, they never said they tested for alcohol, even though passengers claim, survivors claim that they were consuming alcohol. They never tested for that because that test, you can get a result almost immediately, right? But people are saying, people were knowledgeable, said, you aren't too sure that you can test for blue blood tests for marijuana. And even if it comes back positive, to say when the marijuana was consumed for over a period. Suppose this man used to pull a giant and do whatever he got to do. But you know he got to captain his boat, so maybe a week before he cut off to make sure that he's sober as a judge when the time came for him to sail the boat. Will it still show up in his blood? Does it mean that he is impaired? And coming back to the Big Smith had the right question. What were they arrested for? And this topsy-turvy world that we live in, the man, I don't know, they haven't given us an update. I haven't seen an update. Man arrested, captain 3 days, 72 hours at the expiration of 72 hours. They applied to the High Court and got extension for another 72. On what grounds? I would love to know the argument they advanced to a judge to allow for an extension. On what grounds would the judge allow for these people to continue to remain in custody beyond these 72 hours? I would love to know that. But the extension finished. So what happens now? And again, I say Big Smith asked that question because when he asked Mark Phillips the question, Mark Phillips started for MNR. He can't answer. He can't answer what offense was put to them when they were arrested. And you know, I say, as the clip show, people got to get lawyers and take these people to court. Take them to court for violation of your constitutional rights. Take them to court, right? Because again, Edghill talking about statement from the Transport and Harbors people and all that. If these people are suspects, or if they're suspected to have been derelict or any criminal liability, you can't compel them to give no statement. Any statement, before you even attempt to take a statement from them, the captain in particular, they should have been cautioned before charge. You're not obliged to say anything unless you wish to do so. And anything you say will be taken down in writing and may be given evidence against you. Caution. Those people can't be made to give an ordinary statement. That to be a caution statement if you're going to arrest them on suspicion of committing some crime. And up to now, the crime has not been established. And I'm saying that Edghill must go. I am joining the chorus that Edghill must go for several reasons. This is one of the reasons. Listen to this.
The boat was not overloaded by passengers or by cargo. There was no engine problem or any mechanical problem. Even the survivors who made videos from the hospital, they're telling you what happened. And it had nothing to do with overload and boat taken in water. It had to do with the tide. Please.
Edghill says so. You heard him there? Arrogant, bombastic and arrogant. Every single survivor said that the boat was overloaded. Every single person on them interview saying that the boat was taken in water. And there it is, Edghill, this bishop, this religious man, come to lie to the public. He comes to lie to the public. And as the product of the expired traumatized form said, one of us sermon he preached yesterday, well, if he had church yesterday, this is a man who's supposed to be a bishop. Who going to church to listen to hypocrites like that? Who going to church to listen to Edghill preach to them? Tell me who. And then, look, listen to this too. Listen to this.
Life jackets are above where passengers sit, and the side of where passengers sit, never locked in. And if you recall, Mr. Harris Singh telling the whole nation by way of his video, one of the reasons why he was able to ascertain where the boat was located when he saw the life jackets coming up in plastic, which means they were brand new.
If Stubidi was a person, Stubidi, you want to go a little by, you get Stubidi bill and sensible bill. So here it is, Edghill telling you there in that last clip, right? That they have life jackets above. And at the side of the passengers, what side? You see the condition of the boat. And Edghill, as I said, stupidity bill can come to tell you that the things were brand new, they were in plastic. That is what Edghill, let me play it back for you to understand. Let me understand the depth of this stupidity. Listen to what Edghill is saying. Let me play it back.
Life jackets are above where passengers sit, and the side of where passengers sit, never locking. And if you recall, Mr. Harris Singh telling the whole nation by way of his video, one of the reasons why he was able to ascertain where the boat was located when he saw the life jackets coming up in plastic, which means they were brand new.
They were brand new in plastic. So tell me this, Bishop, they're brand new in plastic. So let me, how they're going to get to put these life jackets on? What is the protocol? Having the life jackets there is one thing. What protocol do you have established to make sure that when danger is imminent, as it would have been on this boat that rocking and taking in water, that the crew would have initiated that process to make sure they put on them, like, first of all, to tear out the life jackets that were brand new life jackets were in the plastic, and to put them on so that they can be safe. For those statements alone, the first statement where Edghill telling us with such arrogance that the boat wasn't overloaded, either with cargo or with passengers, and no water, as the people, and the man go on to say that the people, the survivors from the hospital, they tell them no water. Lie. Because, as I've said, all the videos that I have looked at, and I look at a lot, are saying that the boat was overloaded, both with cargo and with passengers. All of those people are saying that you had water coming into the boat, all. And Edghill, a man of, well, he's a man of God, got to be, when you tell him, like, got to be a man of the devil, come to tell us that. For that alone, he must go. And the other minister should follow him. And I have something for you, and I don't want to say your cause. Edghill, as I said, is SOB. SOB, you know what SOB mean? You know what SOB mean? Not the usual meaning. SOB, Edghill, SOB. He must sink on Barima. SOB. Edghill must sink on or with the Barima boat. And let me say this, to particularly just in members of parliament who are going to go to parliament today. If y'all allow Edghill to remain in office, y'all go there and to remain in office, and y'all interacting every day in a forum that Edghill there, something wrong with y'all. It is time, if the president don't want to send him off, if the president don't want to tell because Edghill might have secret for them, it is time that the people take to the street and demand that Edghill must go. Time for people to take to the street and demand that Edghill must go. The last minister, Jack the only one sent home, I'm referring here to Ronald Gadraj, who was said to be responsible for the death squad. Jack the only one sent home, is the people they took to the street. They used to go in front of Gadraj home every morning. The late Debbie Baker and them ladies and so on, every morning to keep church, or keep church, as we would say, in front of his residence. I asked Errol Watts, because he was a young officer under me, and when the thing started, I used to send him to take control to the police officer in front of Gadraj's house. And that forced them to put Jack Dio to movie. So if you are going to sit down here and go to parliament, and the speaker can deny you the opportunity to debate this critical issue, the worst maritime disaster in Guyana's history, the worst, by far. I remember some years ago, we talked about the Son Chapman, 43 lives were lost. In this case, it's well over 100. They don't know the figure. They don't know the exact figure. So if these members of parliament, I'm referring to the opposition members of parliament, will allow the speaker to dictate how this will go, if you allow the president to dictate whether Edghill and Indar remain, y'all got something coming. You have got to demand. You have got to make demands. As I said, in Gadjat's case, Jagdio didn't want to send him home. Jagdio did not want to send him home. Pressure was brought to bear. Pressure brought to bear. Early morning, since board wife wake, they used to be in front of Gadjat's house, knocking frying pan and knocking us other thing and singing. Then Gadjat said, Gadjat tell Vincent Felix was the commissioner of police, I was the commander of the division, that they're violating by the law by using noisy instrument without permission. That is what Gadjat communicated. And the women, well, they be back on them, was a liar. Say, all right, we're going to violate the law, but we're going to still remain there, and we're going to still not use noisy instrument, but we're going to still do it thing. And they force them to cause him to go. By now, Edghill should have gone away. As I say, Edghill is SOB, sink, he got a sink on Barima. Edghill got a sink with Barima or sink on Barima. Right? So let me understand this thing clearly. I just sit back. I know, as I've said, we got to Parliament today, the Speaker is going to deny you the opportunity to debate. And you can say, well, the President already established a commission of inquiry. That is what they're going to go on from now on. I'm going to tell you something more on Wednesday, God's Free Life, about this commission of inquiry. And we're going to talk more about it. But I'm saying now, as you have Parliament today, now it's 1 o'clock. Parliament is normally convened 2 o'clock. Me, I know what time they're going to convene it today. Because they're going to Parliament today because they want more money, yeah? Let me understand. They want more money. They budgeted for $1.something trillion a few months ago. They want to go back now for $50-something billion more. $50-something billion more. And today is my birthday, man, so I can indulge you a little. Let me the same Edghill story. Let me tell you something more about Edghill. Hold on, let me see if I could find it. I don't know if I've uploaded it. I don't know if I uploaded it. If I did not, then I'm going to move to something else. But let me see if I can find the story with Edghill. And Yahweh will tell me this man must remain there as me. Let you go and preach, man. You can get people gonna show tithes and so on, and you can survive. Because according to the allegations that are out there, the man is a man of means. All his family and them get enough means, man. I don't think I can find this video. I'm sorry that I might have deleted it. I'm gonna upload it again to tell you all something more with all the thing that he said he get. And I said, Edghill must go. Let me play a song dedicated to that. Edghill must go.
Don't blame the captain and forget the boss. Poor people always paying the cost. No more silence, no more show. If you're responsible, let Edghill go. Test the crew, yes, do your test, but don't stop there and call that your best. Check every paper, maintenance too. Who signed up saying that vessel could do? Who responsible for transport and boats? Who responsible for keeping them afloat? If something failing under your command, responsibility cannot stop with the working man. You cannot manage from the minister chair. Then when trouble come, pretend you weren't there. Authority sweet when ribbon getting cut, but when something happen, everybody mouth shut. He said, ABP really want show people they're serious. Then accountability cannot be mysterious. Sometimes leadership means somebody got to go. Not transfer ministry, not reshuffle portfolio, not blame junior star. Go! Because responsibility without consequences, just a title and a salary. Let you go. Let you go. How much more family got to suffer so? Let you go. Let you go. Poor people life got value too, you know. No more mourning what could have prevent. No more condolences from government. We before tragedy show. And when leader chill go.
Yeah, let Edghill go. You hear the song say, let Edghill go. Let Edghill go. Let Edghill go. And then I got to get Loving Dear to give you this one, man. Loving Dear, one of my favorite singers. Listen to Loving Dear.
No true Christians, just cool. You know in this. This one is about those people who curse the sinners, then turn around and do the things that give true Christians a bad name. Them a one day Christian. Them a one day Christian. 6 days a week they doing all kind of wrong. Sunday dress up in a white, Bible in the hand. Oh Lord, them a one day Christian. Oh Lord, them a holla for the Lord, holla for the Lord, holla for the Lord, and enough of them a fraud. See them a come the sacred cow with the attitude holier than thou. They don't mingle with non-Christian folk. They don't wanna be unequally yoked. Them cause missing at them a want some way, because them go to church every Sunday while me in a bed I sleep some more. Cause me go a party the night before. Them cause fornicator, cause the crook, but them a do the same when nobody now look. Them a one day Christian. Them a one day Christian. 6 days a week they doing all kind of wrong. Sunday dress up in a white, Bible in the hand. Oh Lord, them a one day Christian. Hear this, I me say one Sunday morning bright and early, and me a watch a service on TV. See the preacher a cry openly. That aroused my curiosity, so me watch and me listen carefully, while the tears of the person flowed freely. Then after a while it occurred to me, the person really a cry for money. Him not cry for the poor family who have to go to bed every night early. Not cry for the South African country where black people trying to be free. Not cry for the youth who are suffer daily. Him a cry for money. But all of them go have to cry some more when the key man lock the door. Key man, lock the door. Key man lock the door and down. Oh, yeah. Key man, lock the door. Key man lock the door and down. All of me know, just controlled by greed and vanity. Them a live high with poor people money. They don't give a damn about the congregation. adulterer. These unholy backslider, I go on like them in a soap opera. But thank the Lord for the Enquirer, who exposed them in the newspaper. Them a one day Christian. Them a one day Christian.
Them a one day Christian. Who Edghill the speech to, man? Who? Tell me who? Who? And the tape that I was, watch, if they send you home, another for no administrative leave, you can get paid, you know. Pack up and go. Pack up your things and go. That is what should happen. Let him go and preach for a living, man. Let him go and preach for a living. Because I'm sure the congregation can support him. Let him preach for a living. His children can support him. Listen to this. And again, I urge you not to bother with the messenger. Listen to the message. Listen to this.
This is what corruption looks like under the PVP government. When the PVP was in opposition from 2015 to 2020, Minister Bishop Edghill and 3 of his adult children lived in this simple, modest house in South. During this period, when Edghill was in opposition, he used to show up at 10 o'clock on the dot, the last Saturday of each month, to collect his $250,000 monthly at the same Mohammed's Enterprise establishment that they all defame and sucked us dry like parasites and leeches. But yet, they all once benefited from when they were at their lowest. This monthly money was used to assist him in taking care of his personal bills and expenses. The Bishop Edghill and all his children are now the owners of many properties worth hundreds of millions of dollars, including luxury homes and apartment buildings. Let's start with his 34-year-old daughter, Jochebed Edghill, who took the crown for Guyana's most luxurious wedding of a public servant. The guest list alone was 1,000 persons. We all can remember this elaborate affair. As soon as President Irfan took office in 2020, Minister Edghill ensured that his daughter was hired as a personal assistant at the Ministry of Public Service under Minister Sonia Parag, receiving a salary of $300,000 per month. In no time, Jochebed was able to purchase this prime residential land in Lamaha Springs in the Joint Service Scheme and build a high-cost home in a record-breaking time of only 6 months, just in time for her wedding in 2025. As you can see, this is a grand and elegantly designed residence, fully constructed in concrete with luxurious features throughout, including wrought iron electronic gates, electronic garage doors, and sophisticated veranda railings. The home is fully air-conditioned and equipped with a standby generator, ensuring both comfort and convenience at all times. The house and land is worth over $200 million. On top of this, Minister Edghill's daughter bought a brand new Honda CRV with 0 on the clock, not reconditioned. If you think that wasn't enough, take a look at her apartment complex located on a corner lot in Covent Garden and built in 2023. It is worth more than $100 million. As you can see from the full parking lot, it is fully occupied. President Jack Dio, how is this possible for Edghill's daughter, who is a public servant, working for a salary of $300,000 per month? How is this possible, President Jack Dio? Let's say for 5 years, $300,000 by 12 months, that is $3.6 million a year. Multiply by 5 years, that is $18 million. And she has a house worth $200 million, an apartment building worth $100 million. The maths is not maths in Jack Dio. Let's move on to another one of Minister Edghill's children, who suddenly became rich overnight. Bishop Edghill's youngest child, John Edghill, who is still in his 20s. When President Irfan assumed office in 2020, Minister Edghill ensured that another one of his children, John, secured a position this time at the Ministry of Tourism under Minister Onej on contract for approximately $250,000 per month. However, Minister Onej did not renew John Edghill's contract when the period ended. This caused a big scene with Edghill, who immediately moved him over to Go Invest. This is the one and only thing that the failure Minister of Tints, Onij, ever did right. Take a look at John Edghill's striking home with stone facade finishes, oversized windows, and balcony with concrete and metal fence. This home is fully air-conditioned. Keep in mind, this is a very young man and a public servant. In 2020, this land was once a swampland in Plaisance. Can you believe, President Jack Dio, that by the end of 2021, just working for 1 year, that is what John was able to build on this swamp? He completely transformed this property. This grand residence and land is worth a comfortable $100 million. Again, President Jack Dio, how is this possible on a public servant's salary of less than 1 year? This is blatant corruption of families of the PPP. Now, let's talk about Guyana's new REO for Region 4, Guan Bishop, Edghill's other son, where Minister Edghill ensured that his son is given this post. President Jack Dio, you know this is going to be even more massive corruption in Region 4. For those who may not know, the REO, Regional Executive Officer, is the chief boss of the region who controls billions of taxpayer dollars and has the power to choose who gets government contracts and how regional money is spent. If misused, an REO can split big projects into small contracts, hand them directly to their friends at fake, double prices, and pocket the stolen extra money as bribes. Minister Edghill's son, 32-year-old Guan Edghill, was just handed this position. How is this possible? Additionally, have a look at the 32-year-old's newly constructed mansion in Cummins Lodge, which was built in 2022. The striking cream yellow residence features luxurious amenities, including a modern wraparound terrace, floor-to-ceiling windows, garage, and fully air conditioning throughout. At the front of the property sits a charming pink Airbnb, fully equipped with modern amenities, including air conditioning, a standby generator, etc. Together, the residence and pink rental property are worth over $200 million. Can you believe the new REO has not one, but 2 investment properties? Here is another apartment building located in Parfait Harmony, fully occupied and rented to foreign tenants. The striking building features a rich slate blue exterior, elegant arch windows, and secure metal fencing, fully air-conditioned and equipped with a parking lot, guard hut, and standby generator. The property is valued at no less than $100 million. Like Minister Edghill's daughter, his son also has a brand new Honda CRV. It looks like the family loves the Honda model. Additionally, Minister Bishop Edghill himself owns his personal new model Land Cruiser, not a government vehicle, which is worth $20 million duty-free. It looks like Suku, the Guyana Police Force, Special Branch, GRA, and the Financial Intelligence Unit are only there to harass and politically persecute the Mohammeds, and senior government officials only use their position to influence international agencies against their political opponents, while failing to hold their own government officials accountable for corrupt acts. President Jack Dio, at least you took decades to amass your generational wealth through corrupt means. You didn't do it so blatantly and in such a magnitude like these ministers. This cabal wants to become rich almost overnight. I have so far exposed the corruption of Ministers Suzanne, Zulfikar, Sarah Brown, and now Edghill. When will you dismiss these bigwigs and send them packing? Or will you only remove the small heads to appear like you're weeding out corruption? Start at the top. President Jack Dio, the biggest mistake you made is to put Irfan there, because the corruption under his tenure will go down in the history of this country as the most massive this country has ever seen. I trust that the US, British, and Canadian authorities are paying close attention to how public office under the PPP is being used for personal enrichment at the expense of the people. Stay tuned for more corruption of ministers and their families in the PPP government.
So you see, when I gotta say, when Edghill goes, the man, they're good, man. You can go and live in the Airbnb, you get your own property and all this everything. Corruption. This is what we're talking about, corruption. And the president President is reluctant to deal with corruption because, you know, you point the finger, some enough pointing back at you. And then people know people Marty business. So when Azuddin Mohammed, the leader of the opposition, come and talk about this thing, because you know he been there. Here people commenting that he used to be with them on other stage, he never made any comment. All them been in the thing together, all the corruption. And we sit back and allow that. We sit back. I said we sit back because I'm saying again that if the president does not want to voluntarily send Edghill and Indar home, we, the people of Guyana, we, the taxpayers of Guyana, must demand, we must protest, we must demonstrate and demand that they send home. We have precedent to go by. I reference the Gajraj case. Demand, come out on the street, they got to go. Yeah, man, you get Edghill there. All these people died. They put the captain and them on they arrested them. I know, look and see, when corporations and ministries fail, the head of those entities are the ones who are accountable. If a corporation gets into trouble, it's the corporate secretary and don't know body down the line. It's those people are criminally liable. And here we might have cases of negligent homicide and all of that. So how Edghill can remain there? And as I've said before, he wasn't there on Friday. He wasn't there on Friday. Lion Mark Phillips said that he had to go to some other function. The same Lion Mark Phillips who had said earlier that the presence of Edghill at the press conference was vital. He says so. I'm paraphrasing, but he said Edghill had to be there when the media operatives asked. But Friday it wasn't vital anymore, so I believe they're starting for easy out. But this shouldn't be an easing out. This should be a dash out. No easing out. This should be a dash out. Edghill must go. And I guess the parliamentarians are waiting to hear what will take place in Parliament today. But immediately thereafter, you got to mobilize to get people for their voices to be heard. Peacefully, of course. Because even with peaceful protests now, they're arresting you, as they did to Sharina Nagir the other day. You have got to mobilize. Edghill must go. Edghill must be held accountable. You can have all these many deaths on him and all the corruption that is being exposed. Edghill came out to tell us about manifest. A man who worked at the transport department for decades communicated with me. He said, look, I walk there all year. You don't like manifest there. There's nothing like manifest. And even if they had introduced this thing with manifest, we saw that the corruption in the system, the thing didn't work in. I got a friend who is a pensioner and traveled there not so long ago on the ferry. The man see you walk on the ferry. The man looked at him and he realized that he is a pensioner. And the sailor just said, go on. No record is kept of him. And one of the reasons, another reason why Edghill and Indar must go, as David Patterson, the former minister there, said, when the coalition was in office, the coalition established a unit to deal with these irregularities at the Stelling, to make sure people are properly ticketed and the manifest is properly created. When the PPP got into office, they disbanded the unit. They want corruption. They want corruption. So for that and more reasons, Edghill must go. Edghill must go. Folks, I am almost 2 hours and a half into it, on my birthday, no less. And therefore, as I wind down, y'all fill your glasses, man. I told you fill your glasses so that you can have a toast. You can have a toast to my birthday, and then I'm going to play you 2 tunes, and I'm going to head out to continue to observe. Thank the Lord for allowing me to see my 71st birthday in fairly good health and strength. And as you could recognize, my faculties are still there. I can remember all them lies they tell and all the issues with them, which I will continue to highlight. I will continue to highlight. And I pray that the good Lord will continue to give me the strength to highlight these issues, to bring you credible, valuable information. Right? Now, as I am preparing to bow out, look the favorite ass liquor. Here, look the favorite ass liquor. Hold on, let me line up. Watch.
I got a new song I want to enter the Calypso competition. but I only get the chorus. The opposition ain't looking for votes. Them looking for cow and goat. Hey, I want a good calypsonian for work for a calypso or kaiso for me. But I gotta use the hook. The opposition ain't looking for vote. Them looking for cow and goat. Who ready for it, man? Who ready to enter the challenge of paying people for write a good calypso for me? Right? I pay them.
But somebody wrote the calypso. Hey, what it goes like.
Ladies and gents, a certain gentleman, an MP no less, put out a call for calypso. He even sing the first two lines. He said, well, who asked for calypso must get calypso. He said, the opposition ain't looking for votes. Them only looking for cow and goat. 007 real brave, cause he dig his own grave. Nobody really trusts a turncoat. The opposition ain't looking for votes. Them only looking for cow and goat. All the people don't know how he breeze does blow, cause he jump on corruption boat. All aboard, hey, hey. Old people just say and them don't ever wrong. Moon a run till they all you hear this song. 00 come for help distract the nation, and he guarding the farm like a Alsatian. No concert, too much smoke and heat. He says, sing me a song and make it real sweet. So I write till I see clearly how them like distract from the big story. What he said? The opposition ain't looking for vote. Them only looking for cow and goat. 007 real brave, cause he dig his own grave. Nobody really trusts a turncoat. The opposition ain't looking for vote. Them only looking for cow and goat. All the people don't know how he breeze does blow, cause he jump on corruption boat. Bail the water. Don't let them red trail, the trucks can't unwind. The cow them ball, nobody care nor mind. They had no vet, no water, no plan. Just 00 singing tune that the coded pan. And she said dance a bottom while you look at top. 00 start clown for the people them stop. But the guy and his watch he turn into a prop. Now he singing their tune for rival teardrop. Blow the horn, the opposition ain't looking for vote. Them only looking for cow and goat. 007 real brave, cause he dig his own grave. The people laughing at his so true. The opposition ain't looking for vote. Them only looking for cow and goat. All the people don't know how he breeze does blow, cause he jump on corruption boat. Man overboard. Old people say talk off and left off is true. Enough things that I hear I really can't tell you, but it's half all you know I can't really hide. We all know was black belly sheep inside like goat bite. He didn't even have a clue if he can't tell a big ram goat from a you. How we go trust if for tell we the day from the night as he wrong and tells in our right. Sing this song. The opposition ain't looking for vote. 007 real brave, cause he dig his own grave. Nobody really trusts a turncoat. The opposition ain't looking for votes. Them only looking for cow and goat. All the people don't know how he breeze does blow, cause he jump a corruption boat. Somebody save me. Double up. Double up, you know you had the people at the start. There was real rubber bullets with the feeling till we had. Look how you turn like ripe planting to soft for we cook, cause you bet your own line and you bite your own hook. The opposition ain't looking for vote. They're only looking for cow and goat. 007 real brave, cause he dig his own grave. Nobody really trusts a turncoat. The opposition ain't looking for votes. They're only looking for cow and goat. All the people don't know how he breeze does blow, cause he jump on a sinking boat. He's still swimming. Cow and goat. Then people don't care, but no vote. Cow and goat. Stop the corruption boats. Come separate the sheep from the goats. Guyana say so, yeah. I'm selling it like a bite. I gone. Like how we both gonna falls. I gone.
Corruption boat. James Bond up corruption boat gonna end up like the MV Barima. They can sink to the bottom of the sea. That corruption boat. 00 knot, license to lick Bati. 00 knot. That is what LLB, license to lick Bati. James Bond. And then we get Edghill, SOB. The SOB. He should got to sink with Barima. He got to sink on Barima. He must go. He must go. Folks, we have had a long morning. Long. I'll have end off by doing this part.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Life, life, life. Celebrate life, celebrate life. Celebrate life. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Happy birthday, yeah, my friend. Yeah. One more year on them. Yeah. Go on, one a vibe. Give thanks for life. Next year we doing it again. Yeah, yeah. Happy birthday, yeah, my friend. Whoa. One more year on them. Yeah. More life to you, cause we there till the end. Real from me heart, no pretend. Big birthday, bash. If I ever on the ground, nigga, splash. Give thanks for we life, oh gosh. Watch it, they make me go dip in at the stash. Drink and smoke so we frost. Turn up the sound box. Girl, them a bubble to the max. Everything well, cool and relax. So we send out the location. They a pass spot. We a pop champagne non-stop, yeah. Happy birthday, yeah, my friend. Yeah. One more year on them. Yeah. Go on, one a vibe. Give thanks for life. Next year we doing it again, yeah, yeah. Happy birthday, yeah, my friend. Whoa. One more year on them. Yeah. More life to you, cause we there till the end. Real from the heart, no pretend. Yeah. Still I live, so we loving life. It's another year, so we are rejoice. Be a family around, we not paranoid. Gratitude is a must, so make we build a vibe. Yeah, the most I prayer we not go without. If a negative, me tell you love it out. Heart clean with health and strength, what you are worried about. While the most I blessing you, yeah. Happy birthday, yeah, my friend. Yeah. One more year on them. Yeah. Go on, one a vibe. Give thanks for life. Next year we doing it again, yeah, yeah. Happy birthday, yeah, my friend. Whoa. One more year on them. Yeah. More life to you, cause we there till the end. Real from the heart, no pretend. Yeah. One more trip round the sun. Oh yeah. And we give thanks we not go down. Nowhere life there. Thanksgiving prayer. Tell us, God go with your dine, will be done. We have life and we not suffer. Oh no, still I make it do times rougher. Oh, 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 oh. Most I give with the strength. They are for a reason. In any event. Happy birthday, yeah, my friend. Yeah. One more year on them. Yeah. One a vibe. Give thanks for life. Next year we doing it again. Yeah, yeah. Happy birthday, yeah, my friend. Whoa. One more year on them. Yeah. More life to you, cause we there till the end. Real from the heart, no pretend. Yeah. Thanks for your reason. Yeah, yeah. Celebrate for your reason. Yeah, yeah. Well, I jive for your reason. Yeah, yeah. Live life to your best. It's a birthday season.
Birthday season, business signal. One more year upon them. 1 year. Thank you very much. Thank you all those who have been sending birthday greetings. Thank you very much. And as I said earlier, taking a drink. Taking a drink, man. Taking a drink. A little drink of wine. Those of you who are there, raise your glass as we tip to this great 71st birthday. One more year upon them. Thank you very much. Folks,